Hi, I'm Andreas Larsoon. I'm the CEO of STUNS from Sweden, which stands for the Foundation for Collaboration between the universities in Uppsala, industry and society. I'm also the chairman of the board of UIC, Uppsala Innovation Center, which is an incubator and accelerator in Uppsala, ranked among the 5th best in the world. And the chairman of Linnea Capital, which is a public-private venture fund focused on early-stage startups. Today I want to touch upon a few subjects that I think is of interest for Sweden and Korea. I will share primarily my perspective on Sweden in terms of trends in higher education related to ICT, on the startup landscape in Sweden, and some challenges ahead for both Sweden and Korea. I will start off with Korea. I'm a big fan of Korea since many years. I've been here before. I used to be heading the offices of science and innovation around the world, and we had one office, or we have here in Korea. And what I feel is very interesting from a point is that as Sweden, Korea is an open, trade-oriented country with high value added, very in-depth into global value chains and innovation value chains. And of course, in the times we're meeting right now, we know that it's pressing to be dependent on collaboration with other nations than ourselves. So we should join forces. We have a lot of initiatives already between Sweden and Korea within the innovation space, and I think we should continue to nurture those ties. If you look at higher education in Sweden, one challenge is that we see that ICT is everywhere now. So you have a lot of really strong traditional educations, but how to also cover ICT in them. Because as we see, boundaries are blurring, everything is ICT. If you look at the portfolio of startups for instance, in the incubator UIC, it's almost always with some kind of ICT twist, which makes it hard if you want to build multi-skilled teams. So that's a huge challenge for Sweden, and we try to incorporate that in the university education. I guess it's similar in Korea without knowing the details. When it comes to the workforce who has been working for some time, we call it lifelong learning. And we see that the people who earned their engineering degree maybe 15 or 20 years ago did not cover ICT in the sense that they need now. So you have more digitalized production value chains, customer service management systems and so forth. And it's really a challenge now how to include digitalization in a later stage in your career. So that's why we have created a new course within Uppsala University, one of our founders, which is called the Digitalization Leap, where you can, as an already working engineer or whatever discipline you're in, you can actually learn ICT from the basics so that you can be included and know and take a new leap in your career. So I think that's just in the beginning, and we think it's going to be very interesting to follow how that is accepted by the workforce and by the employers. Let's talk about entrepreneurship. If you look at, I don't know how much you follow Sweden, but we used to have an industry structure of very many old companies, dating back from the early 2000s. So they are more than 100 years old. But now in recent years we have a lot of unicorns. Maybe you've heard of Candy Crush Saga, Minecraft, Skype, in recent years Klarna, Truecaller, Spotify, and so forth. Those are all with the digitalization twist. It's either e-commerce, e-banking, it can be streaming music services, streaming video, peer-to-peer communication, and all that. So what we can see is that more or less all the new high-growth companies in Sweden are within the ICT space. We also have a strong gaming community where more companies are smaller, and many of them actually collaborate with Korea and have a lot of activities in their development phases in Korea. So if we look into the Sweden-Korea ties, for instance, we have the Swedish-Korea Innovation Initiative that is spearheaded by Vinnova from Sweden, which is the Swedish innovation agency. I used to work there some 15 years ago. I think that's very promising. We also have the STINT Foundation, the Swedish Foundation for International Cooperation in Research and Higher Education, who has for a long time had exchange programs with Korea. So I think that's one valuable stepping stone for us. We also have the Korea Startup Center, and we actually had the Speaker of the House for the Korean Parliament visiting us and STUNS 2 years ago in the middle of the pandemic. It was in 2000 in September. So we have many strong relationships to build on, and Daejeon is the friendly city of Uppsala, so we have a close connection as well, and I know that you have KAIST is based there and in other places. So I think on that part we have so much to build on within the innovation space. And if you look at the big trends in Sweden, I would say the biggest one right now in innovation policy is the initiative from Vinnova, as I mentioned before, the Swedish Agency for Innovation Systems. They are doing a new launch that is called Impact Innovation, which is the largest program they ever had. And I think that it will be ICT and sustainability as horizontal streams across all impact innovation initiatives. So I think that you should look out for that and see how that progresses. They are in the starting phase now and will probably launch a year from now, something like that. So I'm myself really looking forward to that. Thank you so much for having me.